I did not expect to say this, but this might be the first time in a long time where I've picked up a non-DJI drone and actually thought, okay, this is getting serious. Because for years, DJI has been the safe choice. You buy DJI, you know what you're getting: stable flight, good camera, reliable ecosystem, and everything else just kind of existed around it. But recently something has changed. This right here, the Potensic Atom 2, is not just trying to compete, it's trying to replace that entry-level DJI recommendation. And after using it, I think it might actually be the closest we've seen so far. Now, before we go any further, yes, Potensic sent me this drone, but this is not a sponsored video. They're not paying for this. They're not reviewing this before upload. In fact, they'll probably see this video at the same time as you, so I'm gonna say exactly what I think. And more importantly, I'm gonna compare it directly with the DJI Mini 4K, because that's the drone most people are choosing in this price range. Let's start with the biggest difference, and honestly, the smartest move Potensic made. The controller, this PTD1 controller with a built-in screen, completely changes the experience. No phone, no cables, no overheating issues, no notifications popping up mid-flight. You just turn it on and you're flying. And this is where it immediately feels different from the Mini 4K. Because with DJI, unless you go for higher end controllers, you're still relying on your phone. And that sounds small, but in real world use, it's a big deal. It's faster, cleaner, and honestly, for beginners, way less stressful. This is one of those things that doesn't show up in spec sheets, but completely changes how the drone feels to use. Now let's talk about camera and image quality, because this is where things get interesting. According to the comparison sheet, the Atom 2 is using a larger 1/2 inch sensor compared to the Mini 4K's smaller 1/2.3 inch sensor. That might not sound like a huge difference, but in practice it means better light capture, better dynamic range, and overall more detailed footage. And you actually notice it. Colors look good, highlights are handled better, and you also get HDR video and a P-Log profile, which the Mini 4K simply doesn't offer. That's a big deal. Because once you have log footage, you're not just shooting video anymore. You're editing it properly. You have flexibility. You can push colors, recover highlights. You're not locked into the default look. And this is where Potensic is clearly targeting content creators, not just casual users. But here's where it gets even more interesting: features. Because this is where the Atom 2 doesn't just compete, it actually goes ahead. You're getting AI tracking, AI night mode, smart shooting modes like rocket, circle, boomerang, and even dolly zoom, all built in, and none of this exists on the Mini 4K. No tracking, no AI shooting, no night mode. That's a massive gap. And I tested the tracking, and honestly, I was surprised. It actually works well. It's not just a checkbox feature. It's usable. Walking shots, simple movement, even some dynamic shots. It holds the subject pretty reliably. For this price, that's not normal. Now let's talk about flight performance. Because at the end of the day, if the drone doesn't fly well, none of this matters. And this is where I'll say something I didn't expect. It flies really well. You're getting around 32 minutes of flight time, which is basically identical to the Mini 4K transmission range, up to 10 kilometers, same as DJI on paper. Wind resistance, level 5. Again, same category. So in terms of core flight performance, it's not behind. And in real world use, it feels stable, predictable, and confidence inspiring, especially for beginners. Now let's talk about something DJI usually dominates the ecosystem and polish, because this is where DJI still has an edge. Everything on DJI feels slightly more refined. The app, the controls, the smoothness, like especially the gimbal movement, and this is probably my biggest issue with the Atom 2. The gimbal tilt, they up and down, doesn't feel as smooth or as slow and controlled as DJI. It's not bad, but it's noticeable if you've used DJI before. Now maybe you can tweak it in settings, but out of the box, DJI still feels more cinematic in that specific area. But then you look at everything else out and you start asking a different question. Not, is this better than DJI? But why is this cheaper? and giving me more features, because that's the real story here. You're getting built-in screen controller, larger sensor, HDR plus log, AI tracking smart shooting modes, waypoints, faster charging hub, all in a package that's either similar or cheaper depending on the bundle. That's not normal for this segment. And I think this is what people are missing. This isn't just another budget drone, this is a signal. Because for the first time, DJI's entry-level dominance is being properly challenged, not by matching them, but by offering more where it matters to new users. So here's my honest verdict. I came into this expecting a decent budget drone. What I didn't expect was a drone that actually makes me question the default recommendation. Is it perfect? No. DJI still wins in refinement, especially in things like gimbal smoothness and overall polish, but for the price, for the features, and for what you're getting, this is a very, very strong drone. And yes, I can easily recommend it, because if you're a beginner, or even someone getting into content creation, this might actually give you more room to grow than the Mini 4K. And that's something I didn't expect to say.